For 16 players, today is the day to turn your soccer dream into a reality. Getting to wear the Halifax Wanderers jersey is something I never thought would happen, but something I will cherish for the rest of my life. The partnership between the Canadian Premier League and youth sports is providing a pathway to help many young Canadians achieve their dreams. To all eligible players, good luck today. And to those drafted, congratulations. Get right. I'll see you on the pitch soon.
Well, thank you very much, Christian, for that fantastic welcome. Certainly a fantastic representative and byproduct of what exactly today can mean for the players who will hear their name called. As we say hello and welcome, it's great to have you back inside the One Soccer Studio, home of the Canadian Premier League for this year's 2021 CPL U Sports Draft. My name is Adam Jenkins, and 48 players from across U Sports have declared for today's draft. Over the course of the next hour, 16 of them will hear their name called. They will be invited to the team's training camp that has selected their rights for a chance to work towards a U Sports development contract or even a fully fledged professional deal where they will be able to achieve their dreams. Now, we will go over the format and explain the order, the rules, and some more bits and pieces of information that you need to know ahead of today's draft. But before we get there, it's time to invite on our first guest of the day, and a very special guest, the commissioner, of the Canadian Premier League, David Klanikin, who is here to talk about what we're going to see today and just the importance of U Sports in this partnership. Commissioner, great to see you. First of all, congratulations for even getting here on behalf of One Soccer towards the league. It's been a fantastic achievement to be able to see how far and how much we've been able to accomplish despite a pandemic. How are you feeling today ahead of the draft?
Very good, Adam. I mean, we're very pleased. Obviously, even in a year when U Sports, men's soccer didn't even have a season, we think it's very important for us to continue with this, I guess, format or tradition, as I like to call it, that we started with. And the draft is very important for us. It's a key component to bringing young Canadians and young players into the league. And so very, very good day for us. And we think it's good for Canadian soccer as well.
I don't think you'll find anyone who will disagree with you, Commissioner. And if you could just explain a little bit further the importance both for the CPL and for Canadian soccer as a landscape, this partnership between the CPL and U Sports.
Well, I mean, Adam, as you know, this is a groundbreaking partnership that was formed with U Sports. I think it's actually laid track for other sports to do the same. And I think it's important that we provide opportunities for university players to start on a pro career if they want to. I think Canadians in general have really they've embraced this. And why not? Why wouldn't we do it here in Canada? We know it's not done in other countries, right? And so important for us. The results are there. You saw earlier a video of Christian Oxner, Joel Waterman, Peter Mchale, Easton Ungaro, Corey Bent last year, and even Gabriel Balbinati. Gabriel can't say my last name.
Balbinati.
He played for Forge FC. And Gabriel, I'm sorry about that, but he played for Forge FC, the champion last year. I mean, we're just excited that we're able to create this pathway, and certainly we see doing more and more with it as we move forward in the future.
Just how rewarding is it for you, Commissioner, to see some of the names you mentioned, like Peter Mchale, who get drafted, even the players who come from abroad, make Canada their home for university, get picked up by the first professional league of this kind in Canada, and see them become household names and have success in this league?
Yeah, I mean, when you look at it, Adam, I mean, it's so nice to see, right? I mean, last year's number one pick was Corey Bent, right? He played with HFX Wanderers, great player, went to Cape Breton, homegrown talent. But whether it's someone who came to go to school in Canada and then decides that this is a great place to be, it's not just a great place to go to school; it's a great place to live. There's a lot of us that are immigrants in this country, and we put roots down here, and our families are from here now, so to speak. So I think it's just great. It's great for the country. It's great for the sport. It's great for our league. It's a triple win as far as I'm concerned.
And it's a little bit different this year, this year's CPL U Sports Draft, because each round will have 8 picks instead of 7 picks after Atletico Ottawa joined the fold last year. Obviously, just a testament to how this league has expanded early on and continues to provide more opportunities for these young athletes.
Yeah, and we're not done yet. I mean, we've had this little pandemic that slowed us down a little bit, but we're we're getting a tremendous amount of interest in expansion, and we won't rest. We won't rest until we have teams everywhere we need them to be in the country, and continue to up the game and the competition level. And I think our clubs have shown from year one to our island games in year two, we've done that. And I'm expecting bigger and better, faster and even greater competition this year.
And Commissioner, finally, before we let you go, now that you've got Canadian soccer fans excited with that teaser that there's more to come, we've heard from you recently in terms of targeting Victoria Day as a potential start date for this season. Just anything new you can share or anything you want to reinforce for all the fans watching today?
Oh, no, there's no doubt. I mean, it's a target date for us. We've said that. I mean, we're still working towards it. At the end of the day, we all have to follow the right protocol that's laid out by our governments, whether it be regional, provincial, or federal, along with the health officials. I mean, it's important that we maintain health and safety, and we've done a great job of that. I think we've been exemplary in our behavior at the Canadian Premier League about how we've handled that. I don't know of another league in the world that did what we did and did not have one positive COVID test. So I think, we're kind of standing on top of the mountain that way. And I think we need to continue as Canadians to do the right thing. And this too shall pass. And we'll be back to the game that we know well, and we'll all enjoy it. And so hopefully that'll happen this year. And I have great hopes for the vaccines that are out there. But again, we're not going to make that decision. It will be made for us, Adam.
Well, David, we really appreciate the update. We appreciate you coming on. Congratulations once again. Now you can put your feet up and enjoy the rest of this afternoon's festivities.
Thanks very much. And again, thank you for all your support and obviously for the great job that One Soccer does for us. Take care.
Thanks very much, David. And certainly, I know I can speak on a personal note just how much this draft means to me, how exciting it is for me as a U Sports graduate myself. I still have to talk about Philip Prostrand about not being able to crack that Ryerson Rams roster myself, but it's where I got my roots on the media side of things in this fantastic up-and-coming league. Started with the Rams, now here with One Soccer, and together the Canadian soccer community has just been so fantastic supporting U Sports athletes as we continue to watch this pipeline grow. Okay, we are moments away from getting this draft started, but before we do, let's go over some of the regulations and formats just so you have a clear picture in case you missed any of the announcements on what's to come. So let's take a look first at the order that we will be seeing today. It is a snake draft based on the results of the Island Games season. So the 4 teams who didn't qualify for the group stage, they were, ranked based on their record. So FC Edmonton will have the first pick, and then the crew from the Eddies will have the longest wait, as it is a snake draft. And anyone who's done any sort of fantasy sports is probably familiar with this format. We won't have to wait very long to see Atletico Ottawa make their debut in this draft. They will be drafting 2nd and 15th, and we will run through the order until we get to the champions. Forge, they will pick 8th, and then we'll be right back with Bobby Smirniotis for the 9th pick when we begin round 2. And again, just to reiterate, players who are drafted who will hear their names called this afternoon will have the opportunity to go to training camp with the team that calls their name. That could lead to a U Sports development contract, which is a very fantastic opportunity for players who may not be quite ready to take that step to have their rights retained. We've seen that in some examples. If they stand out, if they're ready, they could be signed to a professional deal and become household fixtures in this league in no time at all. We're about a minute or so away from getting to the first overall pick, but before we do, it's very important to get some more background on the challenges of this offseason and the scouting process in order to be able to pull this draft off. So we'll welcome the CPL's Director of Football, Oliver Gage, onto the show to discuss just that. Ollie, thanks for being here. And I don't even know where to begin because I can't imagine just how much work has gone into this from your side of things. So I'll let you take it away and explain to everyone the process of getting this draft to where we are today.
Hi, Adam. Yeah, thank you so much for having me. It's obviously been an incredibly tough time for not just the CPL, but the whole world of football. We're no different here in Canada, although, some of our positive rates are a little lower than elsewhere in the world. It's been very tough. David mentioned just recently on his interview before about the culture here in Canada and how welcoming of a country it is. And I've certainly experienced that firsthand over this period. The youth sports coaches themselves have been absolutely incredible. And I'd like to take this opportunity to publicly thank them for their support and the work they've played and the role they've played in this draft. I don't think putting together the pool would have been quite as easy or as simple and wouldn't have been as successful as it has been without their input. So we have a great team here in the league office. We have Aaron Nielsen, Anthony Tatera, Johnny Ulanowski, Stephen Scott, who have done a fantastic job in contacting the schools, contacting coaches, contacting players themselves, putting together a large draft pool of recommended players, scouting these players, and passing that on to our clubs, who we then, so we pass over quite a large pool of players to our clubs to begin the scouting process. And then we get feedback from them and narrow down the pool from around 100 to the pool that you see now today. So it's been an incredibly, I guess, humbling and welcoming experience for me to see the Canadian soccer community coming together as one and doing the right thing for these players who, through no fault of their own, really haven't had the opportunity to play much, if any, soccer this year. And I think taking away the draft from them or the ability to be scouted would just be the wrong thing to do. Totally the wrong thing to do. So the fact that we're having this and we've managed to scout them is a credit to everybody. And it's important to remember that it's not just when they kick a ball for the first time in youth sports that they pop up on our radar, right? I mean, we know these players at the youth level. We know them from 14, 15, 16 years old. We're tracking these guys. If you're playing as a Canadian soccer player in this country, as a 15, 16-year-old, we already know who you are. We know where you're playing and what you're doing. And this kind of is a natural transition from the youth level up into youth sports and hopefully into the Canadian Premier League.
I think, Oliver, it's a testament to the technology that we have and how much that impacts how you're able to do your job. I know this draft, as we are getting set to welcome coaches on, we have coaches joining us from across Canada, Mista's even in Spain. So just the ability to have technology help us through a pandemic, especially. I was wondering if you could speak to a little bit about the process. I know communication with coaches and players is big. Players are doing fantastic jobs these days getting YouTube highlight reels, mixtapes, whatever they want to call them, to make themselves available and viewable to people like yourself. But I'm wondering if you could just discuss in detail a little bit more of the minutia of how a virtual scout has to work in the midst of a global pandemic.
Yeah, for sure. So, I mean, not just in Canada, across the world, the first step in scouting a player in modern day football is almost always referring to the data or the video before you go and watch them live, unless you're talking at very young age groups. So it's not really too much different there. I mean, we're very lucky here that we've been provided with the resources to invest some money. So we pay for League One Ontario, for example, to have all their games analysed and broken down. We have a similar arrangement in PLSQ. We have a very similar arrangement in U Sports also. So we can break down these games. We've got video on all these guys. We've got data on all these guys. And it starts a long time, I think, before people realize. So it's not just, okay, some kid pops up on the radar and scores a couple of goals in youth sports and let's go check him out. Like, we know them. We know the data on them. We've got loads of video on them. And it's all part of just doing a good, robust process of due diligence in order to make sure the best players are entering our draft.
I think that's very exciting for the future CPL draftees watching today to know that you will be seen, as you're saying, they're on your radar from a very young age. So it's just an incredible feat, an incredible testament to you and your team to be able to put this pool together. Finally, Ollie, before I let you go, you know these players perhaps better than everyone. You've seen more minutes and hours on a lot of these faces and names than most of us have combined. So what are we in store for today in the class of 2021?
I think probably the biggest takeaway for me and the thing that I'm most encouraged by is, first of all, I don't want to say that I know these guys better than anybody else. The team that works here with me in the football department of the league put in the hours, they put in a credible amount of work, and it's very important to recognize that those guys are also the one that drive this process. But I think the thing I'm most important about is, for the first time, David mentioned this pathway. We now know, having spoken to them and their coaches, there's players in this draft today who turned down professional offers elsewhere and who turned down full ride scholarships from the NCAA in order to join youth sports, to do exactly this, to play in youth sports, enter the draft and play in the Canadian Premier League at home professionally. And I think that is an incredible testament to how far we've come in just 2 years. And it's a sign that it's working. We're doing something right. Other youth sports programs and sports leagues have copied our model. So it's working. And it's such an encouraging sign for what this draft is going to be in years to come.
Oliver, congratulations. Thank you very much for your time. Congratulations to your team as well. You mentioned it's a group effort and it's very successful, and we're about to find out just how successful it is as we announce the draft picks. Stay safe over the offseason and keep up the great work.
Thanks, Adam.
It's Oliver Gage, the director of football for the Canadian Premier League, and very cool peek behind the curtain just to see. And he downplayed it a lot. Let's not kid ourselves. This is a mammoth feat to try and scout an entire country, one the size of ours, and come up with the list 48 declared players who are eligible to be drafted today. Okay, I've kept you waiting long enough. You know the details, you know the background, and I can almost hear you from across the country saying, just get to the picks. So that is exactly what we are going to do right now. It is time to announce the first overall draft pick in the 2021 CPL U Sports Draft. And for that, it is time to welcome the representatives of FC Edmonton to kick things off today. Gentlemen, Alan Koch, Eric Neuendorf, the president, general manager, and head coach of the Eddies. Thank you for being here, gentlemen. The floor is yours, the moment we've all been waiting for.
Thanks, Adam. With the first pick in the 2021 CPL U Sports Draft, FC Edmonton selects from the University of British Columbia midfielder Tommy Gardner.
Tommy Gardner, here's his name called for the third time, and the Eddies scoop him up from Pacific, who had previously drafted him in the first round of 2018, the second round of 2019, and by all accounts, it looked like he was going to be on to a pretty good opportunity to crack that Pacific lineup before a knee injury kept him out. He returned to UBC, 20 games played, 5 goals and 4 assists with the Thunderbirds. He's an environmental sciences major for UBC. Describes himself as a technical and creative midfielder. But let me ask the gentleman who just drafted him, what can FC Edmonton fans expect from Tommy Gardner?
I agree with his self-assessment. He is technical and he is creative. I've had the privilege of working with him before a few years ago with the Whitecaps. I'm very, very familiar with him as a player and as a person. We're excited to bring him into our group, and we firmly believe he can be very, very successful in the CPL.
Eric, I'll turn it over to you as GM and president of this club. And we've obviously seen a busy offseason for the Eddies, clearly with having Alan here in his new role. Just speak to the club's culture and how you believe Tommy can fit in, and what this pipeline means to you and the Eddies.
Sure, Adam. I mean, these guys, Coach Koch and Brendan is one of our assistants, put a lot of work and effort into this. It was important that exactly what you talked about, we bring in not only the right technical player, but somebody that's going to sort of fit the style that we want to play and the culture we're trying to create here, as we have some work to do, as everybody's heard. But we fully plan on trying to compete this year and, going as far as we can take it. And we think this young player, given his history and his skill set, is going to help us do that. So we're very excited to have him on board, or ideally on board coming into camp, and seeing how he will perform and fit in, and ideally help this club win. That's what we're trying to do. And we wouldn't have drafted him if we didn't think he was a part of that, could be part of that piece. So that's what we've done, and we're looking forward to getting started.
And Alan, finally, Eric just mentioned the skill set. You and your team have obviously done your due diligence on this player. It's a pretty big honor, pretty big pick, first overall. So what more specifically can we expect from Tommy right now, and what you think this player can develop into?
Yeah, I think that's an excellent question, because what we get is a player who's played in the professional game already. He's played in USL Championship playoff games. There's not many players coming from the university ranks that have done that before. So he has that level of experience, but I definitely don't think he's peaked by any means. And that's why we're excited to work with him and bring him into our environment, push him every single day, see how he responds. But I'm genuinely excited to work with him again. I think the sky is the absolute limit for Tommy, and we're going to push him every day to get the most out of him.
Well, from North Vancouver now to Edmonton. Gentlemen, congratulations. Thank you for being here for the first overall pick. Don't go too far. We do have some time until we see you again for pick number 16, but we'll check in with you both very soon.
All right. Thank you.
All right, Tommy Gardner from North Vancouver, British Columbia, 5'9" midfielder, the 22-year-old. He is drafted for the third time, and now he is off to FC Edmonton. Let's move on now to the second overall pick in this year's draft, and we have to go quite a ways to make this next selection, all the way to the representative of Atletico Ottawa, Mista. Mista, Coach, buenas noches. Are you still awake? It's 6 hours ahead right now in Spain. How are you doing?
I'm very good, and you?
I'm fantastic. It's great to see you again. I guess this is welcome to the CPL U Sports Draft. How excited are you and everyone with the Atletico family to get your hands on some of these U Sports players?
Yeah, we're very excited because we spent a lot of time to wait in the moment they could play again for the next season. The league announced that 2 weeks ago they could play maybe at the end of the May, and you could imagine we are very excited and we are very happy to back to the field again.
All right, Mista, let the Atletico Ottawa supporters know who their first CPL U Sports draft pick in club history is. Take it away.
Okay, in the second pick of the 2021 draft, Atletico Ottawa select from University of Carlton, Chris Malekos.
Chris Malekos from Carlton University, the second overall pick from St. Hippolyte, Quebec, 6'3" defender, 22 years old, the 2019 OUA East first team All-Star. Mista, what kind of player are you getting in Chris Malekos?
He's a physically dominant and excellent in aerial duel and the tackle. Play very, very simple, as he's very efficient, and we know, and we saw in a couple of matches, and key player of the set pieces and have true ability to score goals, and it's perfect for us.
Obviously, it was a whirlwind, a very busy first season for you, Coach, with Island Games. Not quite, shouldn't even say not quite, not at all what you were expecting. But now that you've had some time to reflect and digest everything that happened for Atletico Ottawa's first season, how do you feel today about the club and where it is heading?
We're very excited. We're very glad because we work a lot in this last couple of months because we need to sign a new player. We need to work to create because we know more deeply how is the league and how is the player and all the team. And we are very excited. We are very glad. We need to back to the field because I think everyone will live a very strained and very tough situation inside and outside. And we count the time to back to Ottawa and to start to train again.
Well, Coach, the first pick in Atletico Ottawa history is completed. We will talk to you in just a little bit when we come back to you for the second last pick of the draft. Thank you for being here, and thank you for letting the Atletico Ottawa fans know who they'll be seeing soon.
My pleasure.
That is Mista coming to us from Spain. I don't know how he's doing it. It's a late night for him, but we appreciate having him on. So 2 picks down, Gardner, Malekos, who will be number 3? Let's ask Rob Gale, who joins us now as we continue to move through the first round of this draft. Coach Gale, great to see you. Thank you for being here.
Adam, good to see you. How are you?
Very well, thanks. It's an exciting day, and I know Valor fans are excited to hear who they will be drafting. So I'll let you not let the suspense build any further. Take it away, please.
With the third pick, Valor Football Club selects from the University of Montreal goalkeeper Ryan Yesley.
This is a big pick for Valor. And big, literally, Rob, 6'7", the goalkeeper from the Carabins, the freshman out of Université de Montreal, CF Montreal Academy graduate. It's interesting to say CF Montreal. I almost caught myself saying Montreal Impact, excuse me. He's got some experience in Italy as well in the PLSQ. Rob, what more can you tell us about Ryan Yesley?
Yes, I mean, what a fantastically physical profile for a goalkeeper. Really, he's got the whole world in his hands. Right, he's got all of the tools to be a modern goalkeeper. Like you said, he's had a great upbringing in a professional academy in the MLS. He was a top performer in the PLSQ, and we're excited to bring him in. We believe, he's more than capable of earning a U Sports contract, and pushing to show that he could earn a full contract in our professional environment. But you can't coach size, and he's got all of that physical profile that we're looking for. And we may just put him up for set pieces if we need him.
Well, that was going to be my next question. If you could coach size, how you can get me an extra foot, 12 inches taller than me. Not that I'm going to hold that against him when we see him in action. Rob, the thinking, the strategy in drafting a goalkeeper this early, this high in the draft, is it best player available, or is it a directed need you believe that Valor Football Club need to pursue in the net?
Look, I think if you look at across the goalkeeping pool in Canada right now, there's a wealth of talent around that sort of 23 to 27-year-old. But if you look beyond that and younger, there's not too many high-level goalkeepers coming through, and we think this could be one for not just now, but the future. He would be eligible for under 21 minutes for the next 3 seasons. So we're hoping he's ready and can prove that in camp. But certainly this is a player that we've kept our eye on through his youth career and when I was with the national teams. And we think there's a huge upside to him. So I don't know if he's going to grow anymore, but I think technically he's going to grow. And we hope to develop him well in our football club for years to come.
Rob, thank you very much. We'll talk to you in just a little bit for your second pick in the draft. In the meantime, it is time to move on to the 4th overall pick, already halfway through the opening round of this draft. And it is time to say hello to the gentleman from the West Coast as we go to Pacific FC to make their pick. Excuse me, I've just realized that my order is a little flip-flopped on me. So we skipped York United. That is entirely on me. So let's backtrack. That was supposed to be the 3rd overall pick. So I beg your pardon. Let's go to York United now. Jimmy, I appreciate your patience. I just wanted to build some more suspense. I blame the rundown in front of me. Apparently, I need to work on my reading. It's been a long off season. Apologize, Coach. Thank you for your patience. We just had the 4th pick. Let's go to the 3rd pick now with York United.
York United with the 4th pick select OUIT attacking midfielder Christopher Campoli.
Christopher Campoli, another Chris being drafted here. Fantastic to see out of Woodbridge, a local product, Jimmy. And Woodbridge, Ontario is obviously big to continue the York United region. It's been a very busy offseason for you guys. Great to see a Ridgeback being drafted, 6 foot tall. He can play midfield. He can play wing, right-footed, and just 19 years old. A big AC Milan fan, Coach. So what are we getting in Christopher Campoli?
I mean, we like him because he's an intelligent player, very technical, sees a pitch well from tight areas, and he's got an eye for goal and that quick turn of pace. So he's a type of player that we're looking for in the middle of the park.
What goes into your scouting process, Coach? I mean, obviously you have your roots in League One Ontario, and that makes a very big difference in terms of being able to get a feel of all the talent available in this province. But speak a little bit more, if you don't mind, on the philosophy for York United and working with your staff to find the best available option.
For us, little by little, we try to get the details right, use the context that we have, and when we can get out to matches and watch them. So. Behind the scenes, we've worked awfully hard to make sure that we get the right type of players. He's a local player as well, which we really like. So we're excited to get him into camp.
Well, Jimmy, the first of 2 picks today for York United, which I guess is technically the first York United draft pick. Congratulations. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.
That is Jimmy Brennan, the head coach of York United Football Club, as we are halfway through the draft. Don't worry, we've recalibrated everything here. So just to recap, we have Thomas Gardner going 1st overall to FC Edmonton, Christopher Malekos to Atletico Ottawa, Valor with the 3rd overall selection, Ryan Yesley, 6'7" goalkeeper, and Chris Campoli out of Ontario Tech going 4th. Now we're going to go to the West Coast. I apologize, guys, if I freaked you out, if I spooked you a little bit, thinking that I was coming to you a little bit early, but it is time now to go to Pacific FC, welcome our representatives into the draft. There's Pamadou Ka. Coach, great to see you. Thank you for being here. Who are we selecting with the 5th overall pick?
With the 5th overall pick of the 2021 CPL U Sports Draft, we select Chris Lee from the University of British Columbia.
So UBC now with 2 picks in the opening round. Christopher Lee from West Vancouver, British Columbia. Very technical left-sided player, very smart. He can play left back or central midfield. The kinesiology major at UBC, attended University Hill Secondary School, and the 19-year-old also a product of the Whitecaps Academy. Coach, what more can you tell us about Christopher Lee?
Well, James Merriman and myself, especially James, had the pleasure of working with Chris when he was very young. And when I stopped playing, I had the pleasure to watch him when I finished my career. So to be able to see him being a left back at such age and a technical ability and can deliver good crosses, and also being a product of Vancouver Whitecaps. So, and for us as well, he's from this region, so it made sense.
Certainly that West Coast connection helps. He has experience as well, I mentioned, with Whitecaps and Team Canada. Paul, what was the strategy for Pacific FC going into this draft? Obviously, you mentioned the opportunity to give people from the West Coast a shot, to crack the team. But what sort of players were you looking for heading into today's draft?
Well, knowing that we have our captain who is about to be done maybe this year or next year because he's getting older. So it's always good to have a place ready to go. And for somebody like Chris Lee to work under him and learn from him is massive for us. So that was one of the reasons why we picked him.
Well, Chris Lee, the first pick of this draft for Pacific FC out of the UBC Thunderbirds. Coach Pa, thanks for being here. We'll talk to you soon for your next pick.
Thank you.
Moving on to Cavalry FC. Tommy Wheeldon Jr. joins the program now to let us know who the Cavs will be selecting. Tommy.
Thanks, Adam. Cavalry FC, with the 6th pick from Mount Royal University, selects midfielder Victor Littori.
No stranger to Cavalry FC, Victor Littori, going 6th overall in the 2021 CPL U Sports Draft out of Mount Royal University. 5'11", right-footed player who says he loves to get on the ball, dictate play, and obviously, Tommy, some familiarity with Foothills, represented Alberta as well at the 2017 Canada Games. You've clearly had your experience with Victor, and once you saw him declare, you couldn't let the opportunity to have another club snatch him from the Cavalry grasp, could you?
Yeah, it's not an unusual one, is it, for our fans, because we've seen him in 2019. But for us, it's been a long and winding road for him to get back to where we are, and I think that's the significance of the U Sports Draft. You know, it's brilliant that it allows players a different pathway. You know, that they can get an education, they can continue their playing, and can come back to us. And I think in a world where we haven't been able to see a lot of live games, to go with tried and trusted and shop local, if you will, I think that's been an advantage for us.
In past conversations, Tommy, you've mentioned that Victor reminds you a little bit of Elijah Adekube. Can you just maybe speak to that a little bit more?
Yeah, well, like anything, it's a transition. I think in this league we're always going to have these rotation of players that either move on or move out, and I think he's even Martin Nash has looked at Victor in some of his way and his shape and the way he plays the game as a young Atiba Hutchinson. So I know that's a lofty comparison to have, and Victor's got a lot of time to do, but he wants us to take a chance on him again, and he's ready to go, and that's what I love about Victor. Technically very gifted, got a great attitude, and we're looking forward to getting back together with him.
Tried and trusted and shopping local. Thank you very much, Tommy, for your pick. We'll talk to you in the second round.
Sounds good.
All right, Tommy Wheeldon Jr., as we inch closer and closer to the end of the opening round of the CPL draft, time to go from the West Coast to the East Coast. Halifax Wanderers for their pick in the opening round of this draft. Here is head coach Stephen Hart. Stephen, I believe you are on mute, so we're building a little bit more suspense, but we would love to hear the pick.
Nobody listens anyway.
Great to have you on, Coach. Who are we selecting?
With the number 7 pick of the 2021 U Sports Draft, Halifax Wanderers selects Stefan Karajovanovic of Carlton University.
Stefan Karajovanovic of Carlton University, as you mentioned, Coach. Another Raven being picked up in this first round. Great pickup, a 5'11" forward from Gatineau. York picked him up in 2019. He had 35 goals in 37 games with the Ravens. So clearly, Coach, a goal scorer, the senior from Carlton. What was it about Stefan's game that you liked and led to this selection?
We wanted to have a little bit of variety in and around the penalty area. Somebody that's a little more direct, that can make things happen with his dribbling, and he certainly fits that profile.
Well, Stephen, you don't have to wait very long to be back to the program. We'll let you take a couple minutes and get ready for your next pick. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
All right, one more pick to go in the first round of the 2021 CPL U Sports Draft. And it is time to go to Bobby Smirniotis in Hamilton, Forge FC, two-time defending champions. Who are you adding, Coach Bobby, to this championship team?
All right, with the 8th pick, Forge FC selects defender from Concordia University, Garvin Metusala.
Garvin Metusala, Concordia University stinger, adding to the Forge FC folds. He was just his rookie season with Concordia, but he has experience with CF Montreal's academy, Dawson College, RSEQ bronze medal, and a PLSQ champion as well. Bobby, what is it about this player that caught your eye?
Yeah, fits a lot of the boxes that we look at in the player. He's a guy who's versatile, has a big upside. Young player, can play a few different positions, and I think that's very important in this league. And you know, he's got
this draft. Bobby, I won't ask you too many follow-up questions now because I'll be talking to you in just a couple minutes when we start round 2. All right, as I said, that wraps up the opening round of the draft. So we are halfway there. 8 players have heard their name called. And to get a little bit more insight on the first round of this draft, we will welcome from U Sports, Alan Hudis, to give us a little bit more background and color on the first 8 selections. So Alan, I'll turn the floor over to you. What more can you tell us about the names we've heard so far?
Thanks so much, Adam. Yeah, a lot of talented players picked in the first round here. And we'll start right at the top with Thomas Gardner going to FC Edmonton. I mean, what more can you want from this guy? Drafted twice previously by Pacific FC. Hasn't played yet, though, in the league due to injury. So perhaps now is the third time is the charm, we should say. He's a 3-time Canada West champion, 2-time Canada West first team All-Star. And in the 2018 season, he was the Canada West Player of the Year, the U Sports Rookie of the Year, and a first-team All-Canadian. Last season in 2019 had 7 points in 20 games played as UBC went 13-2-3 in the regular season playoffs, finishing 6th at the U Sports Championship. So a great talent there for FC Edmonton. Moving down to number 2 with Atletico Ottawa, Chris Malekos, a nice local connection there from the Carlton Ravens, a 3-time OUA East first-team All-Star, won the OUA Championship in 2019, helping Carlton to a combined 16-1 regular season and playoff record. And they went on, of course, to the U Sports Championship, finishing 4th place. He was named to the Championship All-Star team. His teammate, of course, as well, was picked in that first round, Stefan Karajovanovic to HFX Wanderers. Interesting to note, as we talked about, he was drafted 5th overall in 2019 by York United. He's a 2-time OUA East All-Star. Last season in 2019 had 16 points in 18 games played, including 15 goals. As you mentioned, Adam, this guy's a goal scorer, 35 goals in 37 games played in his career. So he's a fantastic talent out there. And obviously won the OUA Championship as well alongside his teammate, Chris Malekos. Moving on to the rest of the first round, as we saw, Chris Campoli at number 4 to York United, an OUA East first-team All-Star in 2019. He had 13 points in 16 matches, including 6 goals, and he helped the Ridgebacks get to the OUA quarterfinals for the 3rd time in program history. And then we had a quartet of rookies, which was very interesting to see. Unfortunately, due to the pandemic, these 4 players haven't really had a chance to show their stuff yet. But as we go down the list, Ryan Yesley to Montreal, from Montreal to Valor, played for CF Montreal Youth Squad, as you noted, as well as in Italy. Chris Lee from UBC goes to Pacific FC, another local connection, played for the Whitecaps FC and Team Canada youth teams. Victor Littori from Mount Royal to Cavalry. 2 career appearances so far with Cavalry. They signed him in the 2019 season as a 17-year-old, which is pretty incredible when you think about it. And he's previously played for Calgary Northside FC, as well as the Foothills Generation program, and interesting of Team Alberta at the 2017 Canada Games. And lastly, as we had there, just to wrap up the first round, the last rookie, Garvin Metusala, picked by Forge from Concordia. He, as you noted, played for CF Montreal Academy, Dawson College, SC for Bros, winning the PLSQ Cup in 2019. also a member of his provincial team at the Canada Summer Games in 2017 for Team Quebec. So a great first round there by all of the CPL clubs. And let's continue on to the second round.
Well, let's do exactly that. Alan, thanks for being with us. We'll talk to you at the end of round number 2 for some final thoughts from the U Sports side. Thank you.
Thank you, Adam.
All right, without further ado, I hope Bobby didn't go too far. It's time for the first pick of round number 2. So we'll welcome him back in to make his second consecutive selection. Bobby?
All right, with the 9th pick overall, Forge FC selects defender from Cape Breton University, Jose Dacunha.
Jose Dacunha, the first caper taken in this draft. Freshman, the first international as well, a 6'1" center back, only 19 years old. Bobby, what was it about Jose Dacunha's game that caught your eye?
Yeah, there's a few things. It's a big upside. He's a young guy. He's a young left-footed center back that can play in the middle. He's had a good upbringing in Portugal through the youth systems there with Estoril and with Sporting Lisbon in his past. And from what we've seen, and we have some very good contacts in Portugal. We've had some good reports on him, and we look forward to having him in.
How well do you think these two draftees are going to fit into Forge preseason training camp whenever we're able to get to that stage, Coach?
Yeah, I think when you just look at the straight-off characteristics of the players, they're two guys that are very comfortable on the ball, that can play, that know how to move things around, and are versatile in the way they do things. So I think just from those characteristics alone, there's something that we like here at our club, and something players have had success with. And they'll know that they'll have to come in and fight in training camp, but I'm sure they'll come in with all the energy they need.
Well, Bobby, congratulations on your 2 selections. Excuse me. Thank you for your time. We'll talk to you really soon.
Thank you, Adam.
The first team who has made both of their selections, Forge FC, picking 8th and 9th in this draft, which means it's time to move back to Stephen Hart with the Halifax Wanderers as the Wanderers complete their selections in 2021. Coach?
Yes, with the 10th overall pick, Halifax Wanderers selects Karim Sow of the University of Montreal.
Another Carabin off the board, Karim Sow from Ottawa, Ontario, joining the Halifax Wanderers, who are so close. They're on the precipice. Shouldn't even say so close. They are in a position to challenge for the CPL title. Obviously, a sensational season last year. And Stephen, with your success with CPL and U Sports players in the past, you have to feel confident with this pipeline that they can come in and make an impact for your squad.
Yeah, I mean, he's a technically sound player. He understands his position well, shows a lot of composure and intelligence when he plays. And I think he knows what he's coming into. He knows some of the players that make him a little more comfortable, but he also understands he's going to have to compete to get into this back line. But I'm sure he'll relish that.
Well, Stephen Hart drafting Stefan Karajovanovic and Karim Sow in the 2021 CPL U Sports Draft. Coach, congratulations, and thanks for being here today.
Thank you very much.
We're going to continue to move on. Round number 2. We're already on to our 3rd pick of the round, and that means it's time to welcome back Tommy Wheeldon Jr., Cavalry FC. Tommy, who are we taking with your 2nd pick of this draft?
Thanks, Adam. With the 11th pick, Cavalry FC would like to select Mount Royal University fullback Ethan Keane.
Ethan Keane, another Cougar going to Cavalry. Just a freshman, 6 foot tall, 18 years old, a very young and raw prospect, Tommy, for you to try and work with into your camp. With both of your selections now made, what more can you tell us about Ethan and how you think they'll fare at preseason training camp?
Well, we have high hopes for him. He's a player of great potential. He was born to run. He's very athletic, very technical. He can take it on the run. He's good with the ball at his feet. He fits the modern day fullback that we like, as you've seen with Mo Fazi and Nathan Mavilla. And he gives us coverage in there. He's a local lad, again, sticking to our tried and trusted way of bringing through some local Calgarians. I think it's important to have that, and we believe he's got bags of potential, and we look forward to working with him.
We look forward to seeing how your 2 draft picks fare after training camp. Tommy, thanks very much for being here, and congratulations.
Appreciate it.
Tommy Wheeldon Jr. of Cavalry FC, as Cavalry rounds out their selections in this year's draft, selecting Ethan Keane, 11th overall, the third pick of round number 2. So we move on to pick number 4 of round number 2, and we're heading back to the West Coast, back to Pamadou Ka for another selection. We just saw Cavalry stick to the homegrown feel. Pamadou Ka, who are we taking with pick number 12?
With the 12th pick, Pacific select Littori Shambusho, the University of British Columbia.
It's a big day for the UBC Thunderbirds. Another alumni getting drafted, and we are sticking with the hometown theme. Chilliwack, British Columbia is where Victory calls home. He's a right-footed striker or winger, 5'10", two-time U Sports second team All-Canadian, a former U Sports All-Rookie team member, and the former Canada West Rookie of the Year. Coach Pa, what are you getting in terms of a player out of Victory Shambusho,
We're getting a resilient, hardworking player with a great attitude and a great character who will be working hard from day one. So we're looking forward to have him, and he can fight for the place. So it's great to reconnect with him, because I also saw him in the Whitecaps Academy as well. So hopefully he can come here and be a good player for us.
Well, Coach, congratulations on 2 local prospects. We'll cross our fingers to see training camp sooner than later to see how these 2 draftees pan out. Thanks for being here.
Thank you very much, Adam.
All right, Victory Shambusho, 12th overall in this U Sports CPL draft in 2021. Time to move on to pick number 5 of the second round. And to do that, it is time to welcome back to make the selection from York United. I didn't delay him this time. Here's Jimmy Brennan. Jimmy, over to you. Floor is yours.
York United with the 13th pick select from UOIT midfielder Daniel Rafasami.
Daniel Rafasami, another Ontario Tech Ridgeback. UOIT, of course, rebranding to be Ontario Tech. So that is why you're seeing the sharp blue and orange kit on Daniel there. Rookie in 2019 OUA quarterfinals, just the 3rd time that the Ridgebacks made it to the OUA quarterfinals in their program history. Jimmy, you've made both of your selections now. What can you tell us about Daniel and how you feel about what you're getting out of your 2 draft picks in 2021?
Yeah, we like Daniel. He reads the game well. He's got a little bit of bite in him as well. And he's comfortable in possession when numbers are around him. And he's got a great range of passing for us that we like. And his first touch is always to look forward. So we feel he could be a great addition for our team. And we're another player that we're looking forward to bringing in and training with our squad.
Jimmy, it's been a very busy offseason for York United Football Club. Just a quick reflection on how much things have changed and how excited you are to get back to the pitch with a new identity, but a similar mentality.
Yeah, we're excited to get back on the pitch training. It's been a long time off. There's been a lot of turnover, but now it's a lot of work for myself and their staff to make sure we do things right and get us playing the right type of football that we want to play.
Well, we cannot wait to see York United and the rest of the CPL back on the pitch. Jimmy, congratulations. We appreciate your time this evening. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.
So York United, 13th overall, Daniel Rafasami from Ontario Tech, the Ridgebacks. Another Ridgeback off the board. Let's go now to Rob Gale out in Winnipeg, Valor FC's second and final selection, the 14th overall pick in this year's draft. Coach?
Thanks, Adam. Valor Football Club, with the 14th pick of the 2021 CPL U Sports Draft, selects from Carlton University central defender Tony Mchale.
What a day for the Carlton Ravens. Another one off the board. The Ottawa, Ontario native, 6 feet tall. He can play center back. He can play fullback, right-footed, and 20 years old. Another Carlton standout. Fourth at Nationals, in 2019, 16-1 combined in the playoffs and the regular season. Rob, just a quick word on Tony Mchale.
Yeah, we're delighted to get Tony in, another Canadian U21 minutes eligible. And speaking to all the coaches in U Sports, he commands a lot of respect. He's just a real smooth operator out of the back. He's not just a running kind of defender. He's very good with the ball. a real sort of Cadillac in there for us, and we think he's got a huge upside. He got called up recently by the Lebanese national team as well to a camp, so that just shows the potential of the lad. And I think, he might have flown under a few's radar, but we were delighted to bring him in.
Rob, congratulations on your 2 picks. Potential, great word, and very exciting to see how Valor football looks once you're able to get back on the pitch. Appreciate your time. We'll talk to you soon.
What's up, man? All the best, Adam. Thank you.
Rob Gale, head coach of Valor FC, nearing the end of the 2021 CPL U Sports Draft. Let's not delay any further. We'll go back to Spain, bring Mista back onto the show for the 15th overall selection, the 7th pick in round number 2. Mista, good to see you again. Who are we taking with this 15th overall pick?
The 15th pick of the 2021 draft, Atletico Ottawa select the central back from the University of York, Reggie Larrea.
A York Lion and a name that many Canadian soccer supporters will be familiar with. Reggie Larrea gets picked 15th overall by Atletico Ottawa. Younger brother, obviously, of TFC's Richie Larrea. He was a D1 transfer. We heard the commissioner talk about players electing to stay in Canada, be educated in Canada, 2-time OUA champion and an OUA West first-team All-Star. What did you like about Reggie Larrea, Mista, that led to this selection?
He's very athletic, fast, powerful with an excellent passing range, versatile, well-positioned on the field, and with a tremendous potential to improve with us.
Well, we're excited to see him in Atletico Ottawa, red, white, and blue. Coach, thank you for being here. I know it's a late night for you, but we appreciate it, and I'm sure Atletico Ottawa supporters do as well. All the best. Talk soon.
My pleasure. See you soon.
That leaves us with just 1 pick remaining. And we better check in and make sure that Alan Koch and Eric Newdorf are still awake. Gentlemen, are you there? It's been about 45 minutes since we saw you last, but there we are. Good to see you. Let us conclude the 2021 CPL U Sports Draft with the 16th and final selection. Over to you.
We're still awake. We're hanging in there. With the 16th pick of the 2021 CPL U Sports Draft, FC Edmonton selects from the University of British Columbia defender Jackson Farmer.
A long time coming. I think if you ask a lot of supporters of Jackson Farmer, 1-time capped Canadian men's national back in 2013. Coach, I'll start with an obvious question for you. You have experience with this player with Whitecaps FC 2. Aside from that, what was it about Jackson, 6'2" defender, right-footed from Edmonton, that allowed you, that suggested that this was the pick to make for FC Edmonton?
Jackson was the right pick for many reasons for us. Our club prides itself on giving Edmontonians an opportunity. So he's obviously from Edmonton. That's a big part of us working with our community. Having worked with him before, I know what he's capable of too. And we've tried to address positional needs today with Tommy as an attacking midfielder, now with Jackson as a central defender. We've got 2 players in 2 positions that we needed to pick through this process.
And Eric, finally, last word to you. Just overall reflections on the draft, your first draft with FC Edmonton, and what you expect to get from your 2 draftees today.
Hard work, effort, commitment, passion. Alan and his staff will work with him to get him ready. I just support everything Alan said in terms of looking at everybody that was on the board and what we got, what we needed, and we're very happy with the picks, and looking forward to getting to work with these guys, and hopefully we can get on the pitch soon to do that. So very excited.
Well, Alan, Eric, you started the draft, you ended the draft, and 2 picks for FC Edmonton supporters to be excited by. Thanks for hanging in there. I know it's a long wait between picks. Good to see you both, and congratulations on the day.
Thank you, Adam. Appreciate it.
Well, that concludes the 2021 CPL U Sports Draft. Let's bring back Alan Hudis from U Sports as we recap the first and second rounds. Alan, first thing that jumps to my mind, big day for the Carlton Ravens. Your thoughts on this year's draft?
Yeah, absolutely. Big day for Carlton, and a big day for a lot of these different U Sports teams, and having their players get a chance to move to that next level and come to training camp potentially sign a U Sports developmental contract in the CPL. So it's absolutely terrific. We'll start again, obviously, back at the top of this round at number 9 with Jose de Cunha going to Forge from Cape Breton. Very interestingly, this is the 9th Caper that has been picked in 3 CPL U Sports drafts. That's the most of any program. And also, he's the 12th international player picked among the 3 drafts, I should say. The 8th one coming from Cape Breton as well. So that continues a trend of global talent coming out of the Powerhouse Capers program. They've really built something special there. Down to number 10 now, the HFX Wanderers getting Kareem Sow from Montreal. He's a 2-time RSEQ champion and, of course, won the U Sports national title as well in 2018. Was an RSEQ first-team All-Star last season and led the Carabin to a combined 11-1-2 regular season and postseason record before nearly defending that national title from 2018, falling to the UQTR Patriot in the gold medal match. Going to number 12 now, Victory Shambusho from UBC to Pacific. Once again, another local connection, a 2-time U Sports second-team All-Canadian, former U Sports All-Rookie and Canada West Rookie of the Year, and a 3-time Canada West champion. Just a terrific talent taken off the board there as well. Number 14, Tony Mchale from Carlton to Valor FC, a second-team All-Star from the OUA East in 2019. Was also an OUA champion last year, and as we noted, alongside his fellow Carlton teammates, they had a terrific season, going 16-1. Down to number 15 now, Atletico Ottawa picking Reggie Larea. As you noted, he's the brother of TFC's Richie Larea, an NCAA Division I transfer from Akron. He's a 2-time OUA champion and an OUA West first-team All-Star from 2019. Just another great talent. You should note that York went 13-1-3 in the regular season and playoffs and was 5th place at Nationals. Jackson Farmer, what a talent this guy is. He is the oldest and most experienced player in the draft. So like you noted, a long time coming for him with a Team Canada cap, playing time with the Whitecaps U23 and Whitecaps 2 sides, and of course the Charleston Battery as well. A first-team All-Canadian in 2019, 6 points in 20 games played, including 5 goals. So a great season for him. And then finally, the young guns, as we wrap things up, Ethan Keane from Mount Royal to Cavalry. So he played previously with Calgary Foothills SC in the USL. And lastly, at number 13, Daniel Rafasami going from Ontario Tech to York United. As we noted, the Ridgebacks had a great season in 2019 with their 3rd trip to the quarterfinals. So a terrific draft, a big day for a lot of players going to the next level.
Big day for a lot of players, Alan, and a big day for U Sports as well. So to everyone on your side of the organization who helped make this day possible, despite the pandemic and despite the hurdles that the entire sporting world is facing right now, congratulations. And to you specifically, thank you for being here.
Thanks so much, Adam.
It's Alan Hudis of U Sports as we wrap up the 2021 CPL U Sports Draft. 16 players out of 48 declared heard their names called today. I'll give you some fast figures today, just trying to catch my bearings on what was a pretty rapid draft. It was an hour, but it seemed to just fly by. 6 Canada West schools had players selected, 6 from the OUA, 3 from RSEQ, and the 1 from the AUS. And the 1 Cape Breton Capers pick. 1 goalkeeper selected, 8 defenders, 5 mids, and 2 forwards. UBC leading the way with 4 selections, followed by Carlton at 3. The Carabin, the Ridgebacks, and the Cougars at 2. 15 of the 16 players drafted today are Canadians. So just a fantastic day. Congratulations once again to all the parties who made this draft possible. And thank you to all of our supporters for being here today. Of course, canpl.ca will have some post-draft recaps, some more in-depth look at the players. And One Soccer tonight, airing at 7 p.m. We will be joined by this year's first overall selection for his first interview on One Soccer after a very exciting day. So thank you all so much for being here today on behalf of everyone at the Canadian Premier League, everyone at One Soccer. We appreciate your continued support. Victoria Day is our target. We will wait until it's safe to do so, but we will cross our fingers and hope as we get closer and closer to the 3rd year of the Canadian Premier League season. Congratulations as well to the players drafted. I've been Adam Jenkins. Thanks so much for spending an hour with me for the 2021 CPL U Sports Draft.